usogile wabona wena usogile wabona kai masapo anyala mo wena usogile wabona wena usogile wabona kai masapo anyala mo ndade como tena diwotile ndade
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
No, we won't have that. Can you briefly tell us about yourself and your education background?
Yes, so my name is Andrew Koftiel. I live in Silicon Valley in California. My professional background is that I am the Senior Vice President for Strategic Communications at the Lucile Packard Foundation for Children's Health, which is associated with Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. And my background is in storytelling, marketing, and branding in a number of different sectors. I've worked in healthcare, in the nonprofit sector, and in the corporate world, as well as in the realm of design thinking. I should mention that I have lived all over the United States. I grew up in Florida. I went to college at Macalester College in Minnesota, where I serve on the Board of Trustees, and I did my law degree at the University of Connecticut as well. So I've lived in all over the United States and have lots of perspective from different parts of the United States. In college, I studied abroad in South Africa, in Cape Town, South Africa, about 25 years ago. I learned a little bit of Xhosa while I was there, and I've always wanted to come back to this part of the world, and it's so exciting to be back in Southern Africa and also to get to know a new place, Lesotho, which is just a charming and incredible place.
So what is your mission in Lesotho, and how did we end as Lesotho this visit?
Yeah, so I applied to a program that's administered by the US government called the Fulbright Specialist Program. And the purpose of the program is to create connections between people for the United States and people around the world, like yourself. That has been a huge boon to me personally, and also hopefully to build connections between our countries. Also, the idea for this particular program is to identify individuals who have very specific skills and expertise that could benefit a different government or nonprofit. And the idea for this particular program, I think why we matched, is that I have this background in strategic communications and branding, and Lesotho is looking to elevate its brand and its positioning, and so that's how we matched. And that's why I'm here.
So this is big for Lesotho, I believe, and it involves a lot of sectors in the government of Lesotho. What are your objectives while you are here, and how do you align them with the government?
Well, I should mention at first that it's a very tall order to build a brand in a month, which is how long I'm here. And so I am very committed to making as much progress as we can to build a brand for the country. The idea of building a brand is to create a feeling and a kind of a vision when you hear the word Lesotho. I could tell you in the United States, when I was mentioning to various contacts that I was coming here, too few people were familiar with Lesotho. And those that knew its geography, but didn't really have a sense of it. And what I learned through that was a lot of them started researching Lesotho, and they were really interested and inspired when they did that research. So my goal is really to raise the visibility and the positioning of Lesotho in the world so that we can attract more tourism. We can attract more investment from different sectors in the country. I would say also one of the other things that we're looking at is we want to make sure that the Basotho people feel connected to the government, they feel engaged, they feel a sense of pride in both the government and the culture. And so those are things that developing and up-leveling the brand can do. The way this project will particularly kind of manifest or wrap up at the end of it is we are going to create a comprehensive brand guide so that there is a consistent way of creating visual designs and communications coming from the government that creates a sense of credibility, it creates a sense of connection and cohesion through the colors, through the iconography, through the typography, that again, when somebody hears Lesotho and you close your eyes, you will have a very specific image and feeling when you hear the word.
Okay, tell us about Lesotho as a brand, and what are we going to gain? How have you been missing before, and what do you hope that you gain?
Yeah, I think there is an opportunity, number one, to align different leaders from different parts of the government and different sectors around what the goals are for the country. And at the end of the day, a brand should support the goals of the country. And so one of the big things that we've been doing is really trying to ascertain what are those big goals. So in my short time here, my sense is the goals are, again, to build trust and connection to the people of Lesotho through our communications, and to really elevate the Lesotho brand to potential visitors and investors in the country, to just motivate more connecting to within and to Lesotho. So I'd say that those would be the objectives.
How important is the buy-in from the stakeholders in Lesotho? How important is it towards achieving your goals?
It's extremely important, and I should mention that it can't happen. Basically, it won't happen without the buy-in. And so one of the backgrounds I'm bringing to this project is working for a consulting firm. And I learned when you work for a consulting firm, you're coming into an organization or a company as an outsider. And if you just develop, even if it's a great idea, if you develop that great idea by yourself and leave it behind in a binder, that binder will just stand there on the shelf and it'll never get implemented. And so that would be a very disappointing outcome here. And so also, I'm going to leave in a month, and really it's the people of Lesotho that are going to live with the brand. And so I think it's very important that stakeholders, from the most senior folks to people who are graphic designers and videographers and other people who work in communications, that they feel invested, that they see their thumbprint in what we create, and that they bring their cultural connections and their perspectives to this process. So really, I see myself as a facilitator to a great degree versus someone who's just going to come in and hand something over on a platter. That latter way won't work.
Okay, tell us about when you arrived meeting the principal secretary and the foreign affairs and some of the people you are hoping to meet. How was the impression, their impression towards what you are bringing?
I sensed, first of all, the leaders that I've met, like that you just mentioned, were just such inspiring individuals. They were just extremely welcoming. They have vision, they have perspective, and that has really framed the entire project, to hear from those individuals what their goals, what their vision and perspectives are. And so that has been absolutely pivotal to the success of this project, and has framed how we're approaching it. So for example, I've noticed that we have the coat of arms here, and I've noticed that there are different versions of it in different colors. So we're learning, what is the truly, the truly appropriate version of that coat of arms that we can use consistently in different communications, so that people can feel that sense of identity and connection. Also, I've learned that, for example, the Basotho hat the importance of that symbol to the country and the relevance to the culture. And that sort of iconography is what really makes a brand resonate and endure. And so those are the kinds of perspectives that I've gleaned from leaders. An interesting thing as an outsider I learned is that there's a lot of lightning in Lesotho, and I know one of the things I thought as an outsider is that in the United States lightning doesn't have a negative connotation. People think of lightning in the United States, some people, as innovation or energy, and so I was speaking to one of the leaders about that, and I learned that is not necessarily the case in Lesotho. It has a different connotation. And so those kinds of conversations are essential to understanding the context that we're working in to create a brand that would resonate. We would never create a brand here that has lightning in it, for example.
Can you talk about your team, the team that is helping you here,
Yeah.
the team in the US, and the opportunities that this your visit is bringing to Lesotho, to the youth that are involved, the
Yeah.
government officials,
Yeah.
whoever is involved in this project?
Yeah, one of the reasons why I feel confident that we can meet our very lofty objectives in the 1 month that I'm here is that I have met an incredible team of people, yourself included, who are extremely open-minded, hungry for learning, and bring a sense of creativity and hard work to the task. And so having those perspectives from the leaders kind of guide the vision, but then also having people like you who can help bring these, bring that brand guide to life in partnership with some of the experts that I know who are like world class. I do want to call out one expert partner that we're working with, and that's one of the leading brand agencies in the United States, Tank Industries. And they're working with us pro bono because they're so inspired by this particular project and by the culture of Lesotho. So we're working with someone named Jason Falk. He's the CEO of Tank Industries. He's meeting with us every single day. He's actually a professor in addition to a practitioner. And so as part of the process of rebranding Lesotho, we're also learning world-class brand best practices and approaches that can be used to continue to build a brand, that can be used to create content, and that partnership between kind of international people from international context and Lesotho people is really is what's going to make this a very special, magical, high impact output.
I believe at this point, as we conclude, maybe you've gone around town, you've gone to some places. How was the country? I mean, what are the opportunities that you see that we have been missing without having a brand, Lesotho as a brand?
I want to say that in 5 days, I don't know that I've ever felt so inspired and so connected to a place. I mean, truly a few things. One is the beauty, and there's natural beauty. Like, we were out in the country yesterday, and just the mountains and the sky, and just the water and all these things are just gorgeous. It's a really, really beautiful place, and I'm excited to continue to explore more of it. And then I would say the people. I describe some of the people I'm working with, and I think they represent the people of Lesotho in general. People here are, again, innovative, open-minded, warm, kind, engaging. One of my favorite elements of Lesotho is being in the elevator and just seeing how people interact. In the United States, sometimes if you're in an elevator, nobody will look at each other, talk to each other. They have their earbuds in their ears. And here it's almost like a little party sometimes. And you wonder, did these folks know each other before or not? But the way they relate is just so warm and familiar and kind. And that's something that I've been really struck by. And I would just say also, just the culture here is so strong and so beautiful. The Basotho blankets are just really, really special. The Basotho hats, some of the structures that are built to represent the hats around town. I've noticed even the symbology in in the architecture and buildings and designs, and that's been really incredible. The language is really amazing and really wonderful to learn. So I just feel really privileged to be here to work on this project. I have to admit, I've been so moved that I've actually shed a few tears, and I just feel so privileged to have the chance to work on this project, to help in any way I can. And I want you to know that I am committed, even once I go back to California, to staying in touch, to helping out however I can, because I really do care, and I have a lot of feeling already towards the place, and I can only imagine in a month here how much that will grow.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I want, I do it.